Arun Kumar ji has asked, please explain about BRSR and how it is related to ESG. I think already it has been explained. Still, Prabhat ji, you can just elaborate it.
Yes, because as I have already said that we have 9 principles under the BRSR. So each principle is covering the aspects of environment and social and governance. So basically, this BRSR report is a ESG disclosure of the company, or in terms of sustainability report. So certainly it has all the ESG aspects. So that is why, like all GRI and SASB, all are addressing these all 3 issues of a company, and BRSR is also addressing all the issues under through the 9 principles.
That means there is a standard, there is a format, so all the companies have to govern, have that standard and do it.
Yes.
Now, is there any certified organization who is supposed to that ESG, or who will do it?
Correct. Actually, as of now, assurance verification is not there. I think after 2-3 years, that the verified BRS report will be submitted by the company. But as of now, it is not there, and the company is preparing at their own level. And because the reporting format already issued by the SEBI, but as far as environmental aspect is concerned, companies are taking support from the consultants that how they can, you can say, disclose their GHG emissions as a baseline, because every year those have to be disclosed in the reports, and how much they have reduced, and what are the you can say the measures to be taken. So for such type of supports, they need consultants and experts from the market.
Okay. Now, are you thinking that, Prabhat, this BRSF's verified report, this guideline will be framed by SEBI, or it will be any other organization who will be framing the guideline for accreditation of that?
Actually, you are right. The SEBI already issued a consultation document. It is in public domain. And they have proposed that the report, because just to make the transparency, because there may be conflict of interest, company may disclose wrong things and not verified by any expert. So they have proposed a assurance verifier, like carbon verifier. We had proposed. So assurance verifier they have proposed to verify the report before submitting. So the document is under consultation. Yeah.
Prabhat, just a formal query. Now, if you go through all the big 4, they are into audit, they are into consulting, they provide a lot of consultancy to all the big companies, particularly the number 1 companies of the country. Now, whether you think that they are also supposed to do the verification process?
Yes, because for checking those companies also, this ISSB also has proposed a supervisory body to control these agencies who are making the reports for the companies. So there be some empanelment will be there. So that is why International Sustainability Standard Board has been formed. So I think that will be streamlined. You are absolutely right. Because for getting more scores, companies can manipulate or can disclose wrong figures and data. So verification is important, and it will be there very soon.
Okay. So there will be some conflict interest handling procedure will be there. So
Correct.
Anybody who is a consultant should not do the verification process.
Correct.
Like current carbon verification or
Yes.
empaneled energy auditor are doing. So in case of empaneled auditors, they should not do audit of that organization for 4 years if they are doing the M&B audit. So I think government will take care of those issues.
Yes.
Now again, Arun Kumar ji has asked, we are confused as there are many reporting frameworks are available. And you have shown around 20 or 15 to 20 reporting frameworks, if I am correct.
Yes.
Now, really it is confusing. Can you name a few so that we can develop a good framework?
Yes, actually, that is why India has, you can say, prepared their own framework, BRSR, that is mandatory. Otherwise, based on the stakeholder requirements or investor requirements, because each framework and standards have their own, you can say, guidelines based on the focused on financials. For example, there are three factors: environmental, social, and this governance. Or some investors are focusing on the financial performance of the company. So based on the focused approach, we have different standards. So based on the requirement, stakeholder requirement, investor requirement, we need to select any international standards of framework. But for India, for Indian companies, we have a single standards which is more than enough to report their sustainability.
Whether that report, that format will be sufficient enough for MSME or small organizations
Right.
also?
Yes, it is common for all.
Okay. Now, what do you mean by double materiality? I think you have already answered that. Still, if you answer it.
Yes. So actually, company normally focus the matters which is basically related to the financial. If they are getting any financial loss, if they are getting any penalty, so it does matter for company. But nowadays, the double materiality concept has come because we are more focusing on now climate, global warming, social aspects, governance aspect. So it is not just you can say related to the financial aspect. So that is why we are calling it double materiality.
So basically, it is not only focus on the profit. It will
Correct.
have to focus
Correct.
on planet, people,
Yes.
peace, prosperity,
So
and all put together. So all the
yes.
5P of MSI, if you can say, it might be 5 materialities or
Yes.
so that
Yes.
it keeps on increasing. Now, Piali has asked how to select best selected KPI for a particular industries. I think it will come with experience. Still, kindly elaborate, Prabhatji.
Yes. KPIs can be because depending on the or your concept, which is material for the company. Say example, any steel company or iron and steel company which are you can say more consuming more energy, fuels, and they are more polluted industry, or you can say highest GHG emissions are there, CO2 emissions there. So first, those company need to you can say define what is material for them. Like say example, I have given the example like bank. For bank, CO2 emission doesn't matter. So they need to more focus on the governance, how they are governing their systems. So for them, KPI will be different. For the steel sector, KPI will be GHG emissions. Okay, they will reduce 20% within 5 years, or they will get net zero by 2050, like that.
Okay. Basically, KPI will be different for each industries, each sectors. Like
Yes.
we have 16 sectors. So in MSI, so KPI will be have different, and everybody we require similar kind of sector expert for that industries who can really examine. And apart from that, law, legals, and social governance, IR issues, worker issues, HR issues, also perhaps will be another KPI. There will be a mixture of consultant and our professionals who need to work to decide this KPI, I feel. And please conduct, Arun Kumar ji has requested to conduct a detailed ESG training. Prabhaji is a very busy man. I hope we'll be able to continue a detailed ESG training provided Prabhaji gives certain time, and he has his own assignment also. Definitely, we'll in MSI we'll see how detailed ESG training. Prabhaji,
I'm not the right person, but what I will do, I will pick a expert from the industry. I know many people who are the ESG head in many companies. Like I know one. He's my you can say friend. So we will call him also, and we'll make a presentation, detailed presentation on ESG or like ESG training type. So it can be done. It can be done.
Okay. Akanksha ji has asked about DGSI. What is DJSI? It has been elaborated by Suresh Kumar ji, Dow Jones Sustainability Index.
Correct.
You want to elaborate further, Prabhat on that?
So these are the, you can say, rating agencies like MSCI, DJSI. So these are the companies, you can say, who are engaged to evaluate the ESG performance, to give the scores, to give the ratings, and which is recognized across the globe. Or by actually, DJSI for example, many investors are only interested in the DJSI rating. So we have to go with DJSI. So these are the like rating agencies, CRISIL or credit rating agencies in financial aspects.
Suraj Kumar ji has requested for the slides for basic understanding on KPI of the things. Yes, these slides will be, a PPT will be shared to all the participants who have registered and pays the basic fees of 250 rupees and 500 rupees. If they are IMP and IA member, they can pay 250 rupees. Otherwise, 500 rupees will be sharing the PPT as well as the e-certificate. And these fees will be utilized for Mission Sustainable India's activities for charity and all the for noble cause. So kindly donate for the cause, and definitely we'll share the e-certificates, and the MSI team will send you the e-certificates and PPT. Now, Vijay Kumar Maniji has asked, is it mandatory to get certified with ISO 50001 and SA 8000? Lot of ISO certification you discussed, Prabhatji. Now, if somebody is going for sustainability, again, you need that they need to be ISO compliant.
No, it is not mandatory but it helps because you will have the system in place. It will be easy for the ESG evaluation agency or company or what you are disclosing under GRI or SASB or BRSR. So if system is there, so everything will be transparent. So that will help to, you can say, score high. Otherwise, it is not mandatory to have ISO certification for energy management, for environment management system, because it depends on the industry requirement or investor requirement.
No, if somebody is exporting and doing business in overseas,
Correct.
and particularly in EUs or US, now they get a lot of credit for ISO. Even it is not mandatory, whether that is still there or with this BRSR reporting or ESG reporting will through, because
it shows your efforts or your you can say efforts towards the sustainability. Once system is there, then you need not to say that okay, you are doing this activity. Once you have environmental ISO 40001 system is there, so everybody will be okay, you are doing well for the environment. So because you have your own systems for measuring, monitoring and controlling systems are there in place. Energy management team, environment management team will be there, team leader will be there. So I think that helps to the industry to disclose their environmental related aspects.
Prabhaji, one of my queries. Now, you have seen a lot of format or lot of guideline. Similarly, if you see a lot of ISO certification bodies are there.
Yes.
Now, are you thinking that the government of India also will come with similar kind of standards for like they have come up with for ESG, or it is not in pipeline?
No, I think it will be like BSI is there. I think it will be there because for BRSR verification, already SEBI is preparing the standards now for BRSR also, because BRSR is the guideline now, framework is there. So certain standards will be there for BRSR also. Okay.
Now, Moni Rawalji has asked, restricting carbon emission is not a sustainable parameter approach. Moni Saab, you would like to elaborate on it? Yes, kindly, sir. Please unmute yourself and ask your queries.
Yeah, I have unmuted. Sir, carbon is the chief atom of all the food molecules that sustain life. And that carbon comes from CO2. That carbon does not come from the fossil fuel, which is 2,000 meters buried in the belly of the earth. Now that CO2 is objectionable. How are we going to meet the food demand of 10 billion? The whole CO2 is wrongly perceived with reference to global warming, because CO2 over millennia has not gone that high as to caution any, amber light for us. Versus CO2 concentration, the atmospheric moisture has gone up multifold, 100-fold. And all urban soil destruction does not take water retention capacity of the soil into account. and everything is passed over to CO2. This is a grossly unscientific derivation, in my view. And of course, there are very leading astrophysicists and geoscientists who advocate that CO2 is a friend because all our food comes from carbon in the atmosphere. Thank you.
Yeah, you are absolutely right, Mr. Raval. And but as you already rightly said, the concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere is also required to keep the earth warm. So, but the higher concentration, because you know that 400, we are crossing the 400 ppm marks. So that is the additional, or you are absolutely right.
Sir. See the carbon dioxide concentration over last 50 million years. In last 200 years, from 280 we have come to 395 or 410. That is nothing.
Yes.
And against that, nobody talks about atmospheric vapor as a very strong, and of course, nitrous oxide.
Yes. Nitrous oxide, water vapor also. You are absolutely right. These are also
Water vapors today,
correct.
if we see last 5 million years of atmospheric curves, then water pressure shows the hockey stick curve, and that is the chief contributor of global warming, not CO2.
Do agree. I do agree.
Thank you, sir.
I supplement, I congratulate Munisa for your queries and for your straightforward answer. We at MSI completely agree with your versions. If you Google carbon tunnel vision, you will find a circle and one man is only focusing on carbon emissions. That is known as carbon tunnel division. I request all the professionals here, kindly look into that, Google it, carbon tunnel vision. We have two sides of
But
it.
why that is not discussed unless raised by someone like me, who is at the fag end of the life? What are the young professionals going to do?
Yes. And one version is that, yes, we are focusing on carbon emission right now. We have time to focus, or shall we focus all things are together? You have water crisis, health, education, resource scarcity. As Munisa has told, emissions of moisture, particularly moisture, and lot of poverty, biodiversity, air pollutions, overconsumption, inequality. So these are the issues.
Let us, sir, let us take global warming. Show me one molecule, carbohydrates, lipid, protein, nucleic acids, vitamins without carbon.
बिल्कुल सही है.
Agreed, sir. And perhaps we need to
one point.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Very fantastic elaboration by Muni Sahib. Hats off. And fantastic presentation by Prabhat Sahib. One point is that when I was studying at the particle chemistry at IIT Kanpur, these type of things we have observed, Muni Sahib. We have closed linkage with Dr. Ajit Vidyarthi. At present, he is going to be director of CPCB. Probably everybody in the forum knows Dr. Ajit Vidyarthi's contribution. He is a PhD in nanoparticle and done for IIT Kanpur. The point is that, sir, what we are going to do? We are going to do for carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide. The version of your elaboration in the food or in the carbohydrate is absolutely right. Vibhu Saab has been elaborated carbon tunnel vision and all that. That is also very good. The point is that the point of discussion was that we are discussing with the carbon emission in terms of carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide. That the point of very thin layer is there. That please focus. Yes. I know that your version will be there.
Half lifetime of carbon monoxide is very small compared to dioxide.
Right.
We'll have to see the half lifetime of the gases and molecules.
Right.
Acha, carbon dioxide.
Absolutely.
Carbon dioxide, you see, just tell me, if CO2, 2 oxygen shares 4 valency of carbon, how the carbon valency is shared in carbon monoxide. There is one oxygen, and oxygen has two valency. Carbon has four. What happens to the other two? And that
But
makes carbon monoxide far more reactive.
dangerous. Dangerous also.
So it doesn't stay for long if it is reactive,
Yeah.
right? So
They
you
do
see,
agree.
we will have to look at if
But
on one hand we talk about nanoparticles and we overlook the bond and valencies altogether.
No,
There's
I'm
a
saying that
contradiction of
avoid just want to say KCNS and KCN, potassium cyanide and potassium sulfur cyanide. There's a one small particle of KCNS. That's why carbon monoxide is more dangerous, even though it is very light quantity, but it is more dangerous. I'm agreeing your point. What you are saying, I'm agreeing. CO2 emission is definitely a great worry, as well as the quantification or diversification in the food chain and all the gimmicks has been there. The point is that which I want to understand in last 150 years of industrialization in the global pattern. What I have understood that the rapid industrialization in the system is the not 50,000 years back, not 20,000 years back. This is the course of 150 years or 120 years. This is the
Just
point which we are worrying about that.
just a point, sir. Industries are responsible, yes, but not for carbon dioxide emission, for inexhaustible, this indiscriminate use of water, and no industry declares the water footprint. I made a statement before. I am from Surat. I made a statement to some of the SVNIT professor and even Chamber of Commerce members that there is no industry in Surat. Nobody could prove me wrong because
No, you are right.
no textile, color, or dyes and chemical industry declares the water footprint of 1 ton of their dye. And then the dye water costing is totally out of gear.
Manisha,
This is a hugely debatable question, but my only point is
not debatable at all, sir. Whatever you are suggesting is absolutely correct.
It is a magnet that draws us in.
It is absolutely correct. We at MSI, I think everybody will agree. Yes, carbon we are focusing more. We need to also focus on water footprint. We need to also focus on other areas.
Sir, 50 million years of carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere versus 200 years of water vapor. You take the curves and you derive it yourself. And 200 years is chiefly industrial civilization.
Thank
you.
Now, a good point, a note that yes,
my point is
the Water Resources Department is doing something, but perhaps it is not enough. We have a lot of water molecules, so water footprint, water verification, water footprint reductions, and water consumption reductions. Those are the areas where we need to really work. And of course, I also agree with Vivek Suklaji. Perpetual manufacturing is not a good. Sustainable manufacturing is good, and perpetual growth is not at all required. You have to be a content sustainable growth put together. With this, we can close this is a debate. It is not a debate. It is Can
I add one sentence, sir?
Common objective. Kindly, sir.
Can I add one sentence, sir?
Please, sir.
Total water retention capacity of the soil is 8 times the total river waters of the world, and nobody is talking about soil.
Great.
And we talk about sustainability. It's very ironic.
Yes, the second point, Pavaji, I think you should also agree. Soil, water, these are the areas for us, and you are in a best position. Though we are doing a collective work, but definitely these work can go to the top, and we should have some framework for this at least.
Even SOC is also important. Soil organic carbon content. I think Munisa will agree. So that is also because it is declining in the soil. I think it is less than 0.5% now. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. So now we are talking about the organic FOM, fermented organic manure or organic, because the synthetic fertilizer we are using and it is decreasing all this SOC also, and it will affect our crop production and productivity. So SOC is also very important to focus on.
But Prabhaji, if you that question we raised somewhere in a detailed webinar recently concluded.
Okay.
But again, food scarcity, food issue come up. Our whether organic organic fertilizer will be capable of looking into the food need of the people. So that's why we are relied on this inorganic fertilizer and chemical fertilizer. For us, we have to have organic fertilizer, and lot of professional entrepreneurs have to come forward with manufacturing of organic fertilizer. And afforestation is the main important, should be the buzzword, and everybody should plant those forest plant. It is a fundamental duty under section 51A of our article Indian Constitution. So I think these are the area of afforestation, soil preservation, water preservation are also equally important. I think we can conclude in that way, and we should work in that front also. Thank you, Muni Saab and Shukla Saab. Shukla Saab, he is the Vice President of Indian Association of Energy Management Professionals, and he is currently is a Managing Director of Sanjeevani Group and a sugar expert, and a philanthropy and really contribute a lot. Now coming to the question and Q&A sessions, Sunil Kumar ji has asked, making too many parameters, the ESG standardization move will deviate from its core area of focus. Our core focus in the area of climate change, the reduction of carbon emission, sustainable development, but several non-critical parameters like companies, policy on social media, etc. figure in ESG framework. Yes, social media, policy and social, we discuss other parameters. Those are equally important. But few parameters like policy and social medias, how it really helps, Prabhaji?
I'm not getting you.
Prabhaji, Sunil Kumarji has asked too many parameters is really it will deviate from the core areas of focus as far as ESG standardization is concerned. Now, when you are discussing on climate change, reduction of carbon emissions, sustainable development should be the main prime area. But there are a lot of several non-critical areas like policies on social media. How they are going to be helpful for ESG? You are going on with that. Balance thing we already discussed. You can discuss on the policy and social medias, whether you require Facebook, Twitter, and those policy, whether engagement of social is related to in the social media or actually in the social activities. You can elaborate on that.
Even the media is also important, because for any company, what we are, you can say, disclosing our product quality or whatever item. So because media is very important for any company to make their brand image or whatever. So there should be clear-cut policy for social media also. So that is the main point to be covered. How they have, you can say, they are working on social media. So such type of, you can say, inputs or feedback is required when we are collecting those data. So I think it is not so much critical, but still it is there. It is covered under ESG.
I agreed, not completely. I think we should work, the company should work in such a way that the local community are well trained, well educated, and they have acceptance of that companies, and that societal linkage should be there. It should not be a fact that deep Tale Andhera, you can find a lot of villages are living in dark when there is a power plant inside that village, and those areas perhaps also need a little bit of requirement should be there. And yes, social media plays a huge role as far as feedback is concerned, but the way companies are promoting in social media, even government, so only perhaps, I'm not sure, only Sobazi in social media may not have that ESG framework. I may be wrong, but we need to really have a good community linkage by the company itself so that it will be helpful. Now, Piali ji has asked scope 3 calculation, is it mandatory?
No, no. It depends on the company. As I have already said that if you want to achieve the net zero target, if you are planning for the net zero, then scope 3 is compulsory or mandatory. But if you want to become neutral, then in that scenario, scope 3 can be avoided.
Yes. Benu Gopalji has already answered that. Yes, you are correct. Now coming to Vijay Kumar Maniji has really praised you. Good presentation, ESG. Piali ji has also praised that. Very nice session. Thank you. Suresh ji has thanked Prabhat ji, and also he has asked you to revisit the slide 50 on carbon neutral and net zero. If you can really describe what do you mean by carbon neutral? Again, what do you mean by net zero? Can you elaborate a little bit for a common?
Basically, the carbon neutral means any emissions which are, you can say, not you hard to abate. You can say sectors like in cement plant. So there are process emissions when calcination is there. So process emissions are there. We can replace our, you can say, the electricity which is from grid or coal. We can use the renewable source of electricity. We can use other biomass or biofuels for meeting other requirements. So we can decarbonize our industry. But in the case of cement, like when there is no option, alternate material is there for reducing their process emission from the lime. So those emissions actually need to be nullify or mitigate through the other options like carbon capture or carbon offsetting. So these are the so we can be neutral, but when we are not you can say able to reduce our complete 100% emission, then we have to go for the scope 3 emission or carbon offset.
Vivek Shukla ji has thanked you. Nice presentation. Shiv Kumar ji also said that it is a very good presentation. CR best. Mr. Patil, Maheshwar Prasad ji, and Sapta team, Suresh Kumar ji, and everybody has really appreciated the initiative. And Sai Chandrasekhar ji has requested to have regular connect with all as everyone as a stakeholder. Yes, definitely we agree. In MSI Mission Structure India, we feel that everybody is a stakeholder. You can be connected in our WhatsApp group, social media, and we discuss all these points. And I agree that we should be connected and make a public demand. Sapta Parvati ji also has said nice words. And ESG training, definitely Arun Kumar ji, as I told, we will be conducting, we will try to explore those possibilities, conducting regular training on ESG reporting. And PLE has asked one thing: how many companies nowadays calculating scope 3? If you know, Prabhat ji, any ideas on that? How many companies are calculating scope 3?
I think the companies which have declared net zero, like I know the JSW that they are calculating scope 3 emissions also. So depending on that, because every company need to consider scope 3 once they want to achieve net zero target.
Okay, so JSW, perhaps JSW has acquired another plant in Odisha also, BPSL. So even Vedant perhaps will be working on for this. And a lot of companies are really, all the big companies will have to perhaps calculate scope 3. And Vijay Kumar ji has asked, is there a ISO standard for ESG reporting? Any idea?
No. As of now, there is no ISO standard for ESG reporting. So many internationally recognized standards are there, but no ISO standards available as of now.
Okay. Suresh ji has asked, any idea if any global or local certification bodies are there in the market like GRE or SAP? How somebody wants to certify as a trainer or as a professional? Any ideas on that? And elaborate so that.
No, certification agency is not there. Rating agencies are available, and the itself, like GRI or SASB or other CDP, they validate once we submit our application for, you can say, we submit the report as per the guidelines. They validate or verify that, okay, this is as per the GRI. So this is the only assurance available by the standards. No third-party verification is available now.
ये तमे ऑन अच्छा okay I have there's some technical glitch. I think I missed few point. Okay, now I hope all can listen to me. Now we have almost come to the close of the question and answer sessions. Now, next question is that Vijay Kumar ji has asked, reporting is one part, verification is another part. Who are the agencies for the above, please? As Prabhaji has told, reporting is being done by any companies. Company can rely on that. Verification process is guideline has already framed. As of now, there is no standard agency or empanel agency either for reporting or for verification. I hope, Prabhaji, I am correct.
Yes.
Now, Sunil Kumar ji has asked, there shall be a proper international national standard procedure for ESG framework like ISO 9001 with clear-cut benchmark parameters and audit procedure. For us, yes, your views point on that. And again, Arun Kumar ji has asked ESG rating provider. Any details on ESG rating provider? You can combine both the questions, Prabhaji.
Yes, already ESG rating agencies are there. I have mentioned around 9 to 10 companies which are, you can say, giving a rating for the ESG performance, and like MSCI, DJSI, and I have mentioned in the slide already.
Yes. No, yes, definitely, Sunil Kumar ji, I think benchmark parameters, definitely some ISO standard will come up, but right now we don't have anything. And Arun Kumar, Kalyan Kumar ji has asked, other than mandatory, what will the benefit of company will get if they follow any ESG reporting? Is it for mandatory or is there any real benefit?
No, actually, already I have told that it is mandatory for 1,000 company as of now in India. And also, the benefit will be there because the European Union has already, I could say, drafted a carbon tax that is called CBAM, Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. So through which, if you are producing, you are exporting your product, so you need to compete not with the price, but you have to compete with the CO2 emission per unit of product. So that will be there, and otherwise you will not be able to survive or sustain. So that is why you will not be sustained basically. So sustainability will be in risk of your company.
Arun Kumar ji and has also elaborated water crisis, poverty, eco-toxicity, air pollutants, affordable goods, services, overconsumption, health, education, carbon emission, resource scarcity, inequality, biodiversity loss. Yes, these are the essential things in which we also at MSI really want to work on this subject, and these are essentials. I completely agree with you, Vijay Kumar Maniji, that what Muni Rawal Sahab has just now said, only carbon emission should not be the criteria. It has a lot of other criteria that we discuss in detail. Then your question, then why international bodies are looking into the only carbon emissions?
Scam.
Yes.
Carbon scam is bigger than Bitcoin scam.
It is really.
No, I'll tell you. Let us go to science.
Yeah.
Those greenhouse manufacturers, to boost their agricultural produce, they use liquid carbon dioxide and spray it inside their houses. Why don't we go by science?
Right.
An act can be revised. Why not? It's subject to, it's meant for. Gravity, you can't revise it. Carbon, you cannot change the characteristic. So on one hand, we want to talk about zero hunger. And then on the other, we want to restrict carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. SDGs will have to review their declaration. Suppose if we shave off the entire earthen atmosphere from carbon dioxide, where do we go? And how did life origin on the planet?
Yes, Muni sir. Definitely, we will have a separate session for better understanding. I hope you
Yes.
can write down your number, contact details. Definitely, I will request the MSI team to have a word with you. And even lot of people have also requested, like Maniji, to have a separate session with Maniji. And we completely agree. We should not have only a carbon tunnel vision. We should have a larger vision to all the chapter what Arun Kumarji has already said. Then Benu Gopalji has said that their company is reporting. I am not sure which company. He has not mentioned his company name. And he also requested if any company's representative are there, they can share if they are reporting BRSR. It will be good. You can write in the chat box. And now Akankya, Manas, everybody has thanked. Vijay Mohanji, thanks for organizing such a wonderful workshop. Definitely, we regularly connect this type of workshop. We have plenty of workshops in future also. And with SP Gadnaik, we are planning. Now we are also planning with Ispat Guru on a good initiative on heat mass balance diagram for steel exports, for steel plant professional. And I think we will conduct this kind of seminar, webinar, and we'll connect each other. Now, Sunil Kumar has a different opinion with Muniji. They are correlating global emission with carbon emission. Carbon dioxide has lowest GWP. CO2 is used only as a base index for assessing other more critical GHG emission rate. Completely agree with you, Sunil Kumarji. Definitely, we will have a separate session with Maniji soon. And with this, we are almost close to end of the question and session. It is a great timing. It is 5 o'clock. We will be reaching 5 o'clock. And thank you all the participants. Because of you, it is possible to conduct such webinar. I request you to become a live member of IMP. Also, kindly donate for this noble cause for Mission Sustainable India. For whatever your capacity, definitely will share the vision document to you. You will be treated as a donor for MSI, and you can have your own views. We like to connect each other. And if you have any, if you are a subject expert, you would like to have become a faculty, kindly spare your time, knowledge, so that Indian Association of Energy Management Professionals, Indian Association of Accredited Energy Auditors, and Mission Sustainable India, and Saraswati Educational Charitable Trust. With this, Vivek Saf, I think we can close the sessions.
Yes, of course, it's a fantastic, and a lot of thanks to Jaruri hai kehna, Vibhu Sahab being the greatest moderator. Many questions to present in front of the forum, and the modulence of all the questions, fantastic, Vibhu Sahab.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you all. हम नेक्स्ट सैटरडे को ज्वाइन करेंगे. काइंडली सोशल मीडिया में जुड़ते रहिए एंड यू विल नो ऑल द डिटेल्स एंड काइंडली डोनेट फॉर द नोबेल कॉज फॉर मिशन सस्टेनेबल इंडिया. थैंक यू
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.